Welcome to the Learn podcast, where first we learn, and then we drop the L, and then we earn. I'm your host, Dean the Wealth Coach, and this is episode 7. This marks 1 week of consistency. I just wanted to congratulate myself. One thing that we don't do often enough is congratulate ourselves, acknowledge our success, share our victories. We usually keep it to ourselves. Well, me personally, and I'm speaking from experience, and I'm going on record to be like, I'm proud of myself. So, pat myself on the back. Today, I want to speak about, well, not today. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt uncomfortable and it had to do with your growth? Well, that's a part of life, and that's something that is very challenging and we need to get over. A lot of things that stop us from achieving our potential, or not a lot of stuff, one thing in particular is fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Everything that we think could go wrong is because it's all up here. We're thinking it. It hasn't happened. So we allow our minds to take over our reality and be like, yeah, don't do that. Like, some things make sense. Like, you don't walk across a highway when there's a ton of traffic. That doesn't make sense, right? Like, your fear will kick in there, which makes sense because you'll get hit by a car. But fear is what is stopping us from reaching our full potential. For a long time, I allowed fear to stop me from many things. And with fear comes the what if question. And you don't want to live in a life of regret. You want to live a life of abundance. And that's just trying new things, seeing what the outcome is. You need to learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's when you're going to see growth. You're going to see real change in whatever it is that you want to do in life. I watched a movie. It was a really good movie. Or I actually watched 2 movies. It was really good. I learned 2 lessons from her, and I want to share with you guys. The fear of shame is bigger than the fear of death. That's so crazy. When I heard that, I immediately paused the movie and wrote it down, because I was like, I need to talk to my audience about this on the podcast. And that is what is really stopping us. Like, it goes from fear, and then the fear transforms into something else, where we're afraid to ask questions because we fear what somebody's gonna say, or we think it's a stupid question. And there are no stupid questions. You're asking because you're unsure. You need clarity. Asking questions is not a bad thing. Where I grew up, especially with black kids, we never asked questions. We always sat at the back of the class. Why? I don't know. Like, teachers can't see us and can't ask us questions or tell us to provide the answer. Funny enough, I sat in the front of the class, but I didn't really ask questions. I just always fell asleep. Why I fell asleep, I don't know. And it wasn't purposely. I just come to class, put down my head. I just fell asleep. I just couldn't stay awake. And it just kept going on into my adulthood. But that's for another day. But asking questions. We need to ask more questions. If you have children, I learned this later in life. If you have children, not to disregard the questions that they ask you. They may ask a lot of questions. They may ask stupid questions, in your opinion, but you need to give them an answer. You need to allow them to expand their mind and ask questions, critical thinking. They're doing something, or they want to understand, not critical thinking, but understand something. You need to be able to be like, hey, this, that, whatever. Or if you're unsure of the answer, say, I don't have the answer, but we can look it up and see if we can find the answer for you, right? If you just shut down a kid's question, something that kind of like, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like it tainted me, but when I hear my parents say, don't ask me no questions, and especially because you're a kid, like, don't do that. That's not a good thing, because that will carry forward into their teen years and their adulthood, where they're gonna be afraid to ask questions. Like, say they're on the job and they have to ask their boss important questions, and the moment they know they're going to ask a question, they get triggered by like, don't ask me no questions, or like, like you kind of just tell them go one side. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Practice asking yourself, oh, you guys can't see, but I have a mirror in here. Practice speaking to yourself in the mirror. Turn your phone on, ask yourself the questions, or deliver your questions in a different way where you write it down. Like, there's many different options out there. Another thing is, you're afraid to be embarrassed. For years, this has plagued me. Embarrassment is something that just lasts for like, it doesn't even last that long. Like, things happen and either A, people don't remember, or B, it's something you can laugh at later and be like, oh, do you remember when I did this? Like, like for me, I have 2 left feet, but I allowed that to stop me from enjoying myself, going to parties and dancing. Go figure, me being a DJ and having 2 left feet and can't dance. But I was afraid to dance in front of people because they would laugh at me and I would be embarrassed because I'm not the greatest dancer, right? But those are the things that's robbing us of enjoying life. Like, who cares? If you feel good about yourself, who cares what other people think? People only laugh at you because of their insecurities. There's a guy that I follow on Instagram. His dance moves are 10 times worse than mine, but he's enjoying himself and he does it all the time. And him and his friends clown him sometimes, but I know it's in all good humor, right? But it's not like they're trying to make fun of him and be like, yo bro, you can't dance, like stop dancing, like, like they do it in good humor. So that's kind of like, where you draw the line, or not draw the line, but like they know it's all in fun, right? But embarrassment can rob you of so much. Like, if you feel you're gonna fail a test, so you don't take a specific exam to get your designation, or some sort of class that you want to do, that is going to stop you from living your best life, and you're gonna always live in the regret of what if. Are you afraid to make mistakes? A lot of us are afraid to make mistakes. Like, we want to just do everything to perfection. I sent my friend this post I saw on Instagram. I'm going to share it with you guys once my laptop opens. But being afraid to make mistakes, like, not everything's going to be perfect, and we just need to understand we weren't designed to be perfect. We're here to just figure out things and just go along and figure it out as we go along. Where is this thing? Here we go. So making mistakes is fine. Making mistakes allows you to improve the mistake that you made. It allows you to learn something. It allows improvement. So I don't know if any of you watched The Magic School Bus. Look that up. But Miss Frizzle, she said, take chances, get messy, make mistakes. But between those mistakes, you're having fun. Like, you're learning something new. Like, you know who always makes mistakes and they just bounce back every time? Scientists. Anything that they do, everything they do is an experiment. But in order to achieve the results that they want, they have to make mistakes. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just think of yourself being a scientist trying to figure out a possible solution. Embrace your weakness. So I watched the next movie as well. It was about two brothers. One was blind, or one ended up blind, and he didn't allow that to stop him from stopping his brother from taking over their little community. And his father said, embrace your weakness. Embrace your weakness. Don't fight. Look to make it your strength. Whatever weakness that you have, try to see how you can turn that into a positive. If you continue to live in that negative light, everything is just going to transpire into negativity. Like if you're always like, why is the sky blue? Why is it so cold outside? Like, you're just going to live a miserable life. Look for the finer things in life, or like every negative, there's a positive. So try to see, all right, because of this, or this is what's happening, but on the flip side, this is happening, or this can also be the outcome. So there cannot be a negative without a positive, and vice versa. But we tend to focus on the negatives more than we do for the positives. So this post that I seen on Instagram, like, this guy nailed it on the head. Perfectionism. So imagine a loop where it says improve, 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 comes back around, improve, 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 comes back around. And that's you trying to strive for perfectionism. Like thinking like, yeah, let me add this and that. No, just start and publish. Let it just take its course. You can improve as you go along. Like, look at it like this. You have a loop that goes like this. You're making a circle, but it's never growing. But now imagine if you make the circle, you improve it. Now you move up and you make a new circle and you improve it. I picked that out from Ray Dalio, the principal loop, where it's like you start, you struggle, or you have a problem, you figure it out, you improve it, and now with the new solution, now you can move up. So think of yourself making like little circles, improving and moving yourself up. Next one is new idea syndrome. Ah, man, guilty. So this is start new idea, come back around. Start new idea, come back around. And the solution to that is just finish an idea. This is an idea that I plan to finish. I'm not starting something new. Not to say until I get to 75 days, but I'm starting this and I'm sticking with this. Like, there's no start new idea, come back around. No. As same thing with perfectionism. Like, you're seeing this, like, I'm taping this on my phone. Like, I'm keeping it straight with you guys. Like, I'm doing this in my living room on my couch. Call me the guy on the couch if you want. But if I don't start, if I strive for perfectionism, trying to find a podcast studio, have the headphones on, have the mic, all that fancy equipment, have a soundboard, I would have never started. I said to myself, just go and do the thing. Same thing with new idea. This is not a new idea. This is an idea that I'm bringing back to life, but staying consistent with it. Next thing is guilty of overthinker. Think, loop back around. Think, loop back around. You know how you stop that? Take action. Just be like, all right, I thought of it. Let's go and do it. Who cares what the outcome is? The point of the matter is just taking action. I thought about this podcast and I said, nope, stop. Take action. Just go and do it. And I like doing 70 or every day because it's challenging me to either take what I've learned the previous day before, or what I have in my many materials that I have with information. I'm just continuously hoarding information. I apologize. I've been selfish for many years, but now I'm here to give you everything that I know, because it does me no good if it just sits in a book and nobody knows about it. And not just you, but me as well. Like, execute on this plan. I wrote this down. I said, yo, I'm going forward with it. Learning for entertainment. So I don't learn for entertainment per se, but I'm in this loop where it's learn, come back around. Learn, come back around. And you know how you beat that? Apply what you learned. For me, it's a mixture of both. I'm applying what I learned, and I'm also teaching you, because if I'm able to let you know in my own words what it is that I learned, then when it's time for me to apply it, I have no issues because I can remember it now. So those are the 4, and somebody labeled it the 4 horsemen of dysfunction. Don't let perfectionism, new idea syndrome, overthinking, or learning for entertainment stop you from improving yourself. So I hope you found some value in today's episode. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on tomorrow's podcast.